What is going on, you Skulk and Skiploom? Before we go over the list that we're going to be playing some games with today, I want to remind you guys that Full Grip Games is still always buying cards, except for the ones your dog chewed on. Nobody wants those. That's gross. You should throw those away. But all the other ones, they want. So head over to fullgripgames.com and check out their buy list tab over there and get rid of your cards and get yourself some cash. Let's take a look at the list we're going to be playing with today. So it is Sylveon, and Sylveon has kind of been on a downswing for a while. It had a good run for a little while, a couple formats back, but it might finally be making somewhat of a return with the addition of the Leafeon VSTAR. Such a powerful ability to have access to in a deck that can not only utilize, the Leafeon VSTAR's ability. Any deck, I guess, could utilize the Ivysaur VSTAR power from the Leafeon VSTAR, but this is not the first time, and not the only time, and probably won't be the last time, that Leafeon V is included with Sylveon VMAX. So Sylveon VMAX, if you didn't know how it works, it's 70 damage plus 30 for each different type of bench Pokemon you have on your bench. So you never want two of the same type of a Pokemon on your bench. You got like a Sylveon VMAX in the active, you could build one up on the bench, or you could start to build up the Urshifu VMAX, which is like the secondary attacker in this deck. Not only is fighting a great type right now for like the Gengar VMAXs and the Jolteons, both weak to fighting. So Urshifu is a great attacker. It also sets up great 2-hit KO potential from going into a Max Harmony with the Sylveon VMAX and then following up with a G-Max Rapid Flow to 2-hit KO a VMAX Pokemon and maybe pick up a one-prize knockout on something like a Sobble or a Zigzagoon or something that doesn't have a ton of HP and is pretty weak. So there's a great combination of attacks between the Sylveon VMAX and the Urshifu VMAX, and those are really our only two attackers in the deck, to be honest. We don't really have anything else. We could attack with Leafeon, but we only play 2 basic grass energy, so that's really hard to set up. I've never attacked with the Leafeon VSTAR yet. We could attack with Octillery technically. Once again, not going to happen. Doesn't make any sense. And then the only other Pokemons we have in here is support Pokemon alongside the Octillery in 2 Crobat, and then a 2/2 Rayquaza VMAX. And the Rayquaza VMAX works really well in this deck because it's a Rapid Strike card, so we can find it off of Rapid Strike Search. And it can retreat off of the Tower of Waters as well, and it just keeps kind of our hand moving along. We don't need a whole ton of cards throughout games. Once we've kind of set up, the main card we're looking for turn to turn is Energy and Boss's Orders to kind of pick which targets we want to hit. So having something like Rayquaza in here is great for that. Just cards your hand, sees 3 new cards. If you want to keep digging through your deck aggressively, thins out the deck really hard that way, and can help us find the cards we want for our turn, which are usually, like I said, Boss and Energy are the cards we're usually looking for. And Octillery can usually find us the Energy if we don't need it to find a Rapid Strike Pokemon, so then we can dig deeper with the Rayquaza to try and find those Boss cards, or maybe we can Evolution Incense for our Leafeon VSTAR. So yeah, like I said, on our first turn, that's why the Leafeon V is so good, because we can go turn 1, capture energy onto our Sylveon, get out the Leafeon V, and then use Greeting Cells and attach an energy to a different Sylveon V, or we could attach it to an Urshifu if we want to have that option in the matchup for the G-Max Rapid Flow, or we could like capture energy to a Urshifu V, and then Greeting Cells over to a Sylveon, or anything like that. And it just helps accelerate that extra energy into play on turn 1, because we have no other energy acceleration in the deck besides the Leafeon V. That's it. So the first turn, we're trying to use Greeting Cells to one of our big attackers. Depending on the matchup, we'll put an energy here or an energy there. And then instead of the Leafeon sitting on our bench being useless the rest of the game, we can now evolve it into the Leafeon VSTAR, and we have a free Gust effect to use pretty much whenever we want through the Ivysaur, and it's really hard for our opponent to go out of their way and KO the Leafeon VSTAR, unlike something with a Crobat that only has 180 HP. Once we get that Leafeon V into Leafeon VSTAR, it's got 260 HP, so it's really hard for our opponent to go out of their way to get the knockout on it and take away our free Gust effect later in the game. So it's kind of always just sitting there in play, and has just the Ivysaur for whenever we need it. So it's a great addition to this deck, and really can change up how aggressive we can be about kind of just almost like chasing 2-prize Pokemon for the whole game. I actually had an Echoing Horn in here initially, which I might try and fit back in a little bit later on. I had an Echoing Horn in here so we can make plays where we go like, okay, knock out a V, knock out a Crobat, Echoing Horn, Ivysaur, Boss, bring that Crobat up there, knock it out, and just kind of chase 2-prizers the whole game. But I cut it because I wasn't using it really that much. But could be something to include a little bit later on. The only other card I'll talk about, I think, before we get into some games is the Ribbon Badge. Reduces the prize cards that people take off of Sylveon VMAX by 1, which has actually been huge. I didn't think it would be that impactful. A lot of people played the Ribbon Badges initially when Sylveon was a deck, but started cutting them pretty aggressively after that. Didn't see many people playing them, but I initially started testing with it. I was just like, well, why not try it out? Let's see how it feels. So I was testing with it, and it just felt really good. Like, we just set up kind of 2 VMAXs, and then one of them's only worth 2 prize cards. So if our opponent knocks out 2 VMAXs, they don't win the game. They have to knock out another VMAX or another Pokemon. So it basically just gives us 1 extra turn to play the game, which is kind of insane. So yeah, Ribbon Badges been really nice as well. And also Rayquaza helps, to be honest. Rayquaza definitely helps us find the Ribbon Badges because it helps us dig through our deck that little bit extra to, you know, just draw more cards and find the ribbon badges. But yeah, ribbon badge, kind of insane. Pretty good. I was really impressed because when everyone started cutting it out of Sylveon, I was like, well, it must just not be that good. I never really played that much Sylveon, so when everyone started cutting it out of their list, I was like, well, it's probably not that good. But since I've included them and playing with them, they're pretty great. Making your opponent take another knockout to win the game is a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal for sure. And that's the list, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's get into some games, and I'll show you guys the impact that Leafeon can have on the deck. Let's get it. Winning the coin flip in this first one. Lightning Water, so probably Jolteon. But there's that Urshifu that is so important for this matchup. I mean, it's not that important. It's pretty important. We can actually win with Sylveon in the matchup as well, but prefer to use Urshifu overall. And yeah, it is the Jolteon. Hey, we got the Leafeon as well. And I think, actually, here's what I think I'm going to do. Go on the Leafeon. Go on the Urshifu. Capture Energy bench, actually. Grab Remoraid. And then we can attach the Grass Active. The reason I like the Grass Active over the Capture Active is because Fan of Waves is played in Jolteon. If I had to pick for them to remove an energy from one of my Pokemon, it would be the Urshifu, I think. Because now we could, like, Hard Retreat and Gale Thrust. Or we could just attack with Jolteon on turn 2 and not worry about using Urshifu until later on in the game, potentially. We don't really have to use Urshifu. We just want to use Urshifu when we're going to get a KO on a Jolteon VMAX, but that's not right now. So we don't really need Urshifu VMAX for a little bit, to be honest. We just don't need it yet. So I'd much rather be able to definitely attack with Sylveon or be able to retreat Sylveon, because if I put the capture on the active, they could fan that, and I'd have to like find a new way to retreat Sylveon when I could just like attack with Sylveon for the turn. So why not attack with Sylveon for the turn? Because they're probably going to retreat to the Zigzagoon here, and I mean, I could top deck actually like the boss KO on the Jolteon. If I do get that, I will do it, but it's like not necessary. And well, there is the top deck. So we will be boss KOing the Jolteon here. Throw that down there. Gonna go ahead and play the Evolution Incense. Grab myself the Octillery. Such a great card to set up as soon as possible. Got the boss. We are just gonna hard retreat here, I think, as well. So go ahead and boss Jolteon. Rapid Strike Search out. Now, there's a question. I might just start to set up my Rayquaza, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to go for setting up the Rayquaza. And then retreat. And we could have gone into the VMAX here. But actually, one of the problems with the VMAX in this matchup is once we Gale Thrust, we can't attack again. And I want to be able to like go hit another Jolteon next turn. Like maybe through the Leafeon VSTAR's ability or something like that. Yeah, we can't actually... Like, that's one of the problems with using Urshifu VMAX, not just with this deck up against Jolteon, but any Rapid Strike Urshifu deck. Once you Gale Thrust, you're in the active, and Gale Thrust can only be used when you go from the bench to the active. Sure, we could G-Max Rapid Flow from here, but I'd much rather just be able to use 100 Furious Blows again, I think. Because once I use G-Max Rapid Flow, I'm out of my energy on my active as well. Once again, things can get pretty awkward. So I'd rather just 100 Furious Blows, maybe go boss 100 Furious Blows again next turn. I guess in this situation, maybe it would have been fine to VMAX here. I can always get the VMAX the next turn as well, so there's no reason to do it right now as well, I don't think. Yeah, I like this play overall. Team's fine. And here our opponent's going to grab a Jolteon, then we're going to boss it, and then I fully expect my opponent to concede after I boss KO this next Jolteon, which I think is very fair at this. To be honest, though, I think it's fair for them to be like, okay, I'm done. I think I will put the Grass Energy on the active, because it does make it... I'll put the Grass Energy on the active, I think, because it does make it so that if my opponent does use the like double Fan of Waves, we could still put a Rapid Strike Energy and Evolve, and then use G-Max Rapid Flow to kind of KO two smaller things in play. And they got a lot of smaller things in play right now. So I'll probably put the Grass on the active, boss, 100 Furious Blows, and I'm going to go and show them the boss immediately. So if they want to concede, I'll let them get it out of the way right now. I'm not going to put the Quick Ball yet, I don't think. I think I'm just going to attach the Grass. Rapid Strike Search. Oh, we could go for a Rayquaza just to kind of thin out the deck, actually. I think I am just going to use Ray here and draw a bunch of cards. Well, I say bunch of cards, a couple cards. 3 cards to be exact. And I think I'll just have a second Urshifu. It's usually all we want in this matchup. Measure Pulse. My opponent's sticking it out so far. Looks like they're about it. It's fine with me. 100 Furious Blows. Okay, well, in the Jolteon, we have another boss in the hand. We have Octillery in play, so we can just use Octillery, and we can grab ourselves the Urshifu VMAX next turn, and then G-Max Rapid Flow. Like I said, they got a bunch of things in the bench, and yeah, there's the concede finally. So yeah, pretty easy matchup is the Jolteon matchups. It's really nice when you have such a favorable matchup against one of the top decks in the format. Another game, another coin flip win. So we will be going first, probably up against Mew VMAX, just based on our opponent's deck box and sleeves. We do have the Leafeon option to start with, or we could open the Remoraid and give them potentially one less prize card to be gained. It is easier to knock out. Oh, the timer's already on. What do I do? Where do I start? I'm leaning towards the Remoraid here. Let's go with the Remoraid here. Let's see how that goes. I don't really want to give him 2 prize cards if I can give him 1, you know? Feels a little bit better. Helps our prize rate out a little bit more. Crobat, though, actually, from my opponent, so maybe not what I thought it was. Sylveon, Leafeon, Rayquaza, Attach. Ingredient cells. It's always good to get extra energy in play. I think I value that more highly here than... I could have got an Evolution Incense off the Dream Gift. That would have been good as well. But we don't know what we're up against, so it makes me a little bit hesitant to not want to get the extra energy in play. We're up against Dragapult V. Okay. Yeah, not knowing we're up against, like, I kind of just want the extra energy in play. Like, up against, like, a Dragapult like this, they play Crushing Hammers, sometimes Fan of Waves, sometimes both. So if we don't get the extra energy in play, who knows where we'd be. This hand is really good. I really like this hand. We can definitely chase that Dragapult down with the Leafeon potentially. That extra Quick Ball, not digging that as much, to be honest. I think I am just going to go for Crobat here. Thin out the Remoraid. I think I'm just going to go for Crobat here. Just want to see a lot of cards. You move the Remoraid some way. It also means, actually, because we did play it the way we did, we can move. Oh my gosh, there's so many things in this hand to use. What do I want? Well, I'm gonna get the evolution for this. I think we just use like Sylveon VMAXs in this match. I mean, to be honest, this turn is so ridiculous. Like, we're just in a ridiculously good spot. I don't really want a Tower of Water, to be honest. I'd rather Air Balloon and save these to play against around Paths of the Peak, which they might play. I'm gonna play the Great Ball first. The next Sylveon. Play the Marnie. If we have to search the Tower of Waters back out through the artillery, we can. Like I said, I'd rather use the other thing. I don't remember. Oh no, we only played 2 Sylveon. I was like, I don't remember if the 3rd Sylveon VMAX. We don't play that many Sylveon VMAXs. Don't really need the Great Ball. Rapid Strike Search. Let's go ahead and get that Stadium now. And yeah, the aggressive turn 2, the VSTAR. We got to play a draw supporter, and that's why it's so good. It accelerated energy for us turn 1, and then here on turn 2, and there's the concede, and I don't blame him. That's a ridiculously powerful start from us, and that's why it's so good in the deck. The Leafeon VSTAR. I think that game was a perfect example of it. It did everything. The Leafeon V accelerated our energy, got us ahead there, and then turn 2, we used the VSTAR immediately to be aggressive about KOing our opponent's setting up. KO that specific target. Took that Dragapult down. Our opponent even conceded on that turn. Pretty crazy start. Here we go. Probably up against Mew VMAX. Just guessing by the sleeves and the deck box. We'll see here. Maybe they're trying to throw us off. Got double Sylveon, which is exactly what we want off the start. And we can capture out the Leafeon. And then split the energy between the Sylveons here. I was thinking about opening the Remoraid, but in our current situation, that's our only out to draw support, so we kind of need to keep that around. Sobble, though, so we can actually go for a magical shot here and get an early prize card with my opponent's slow start. Sounds like the perfect thing to do. Yeah, magical shot, KO Sobble. No idea what they're playing. If I had to guess, I'd take Jolteon. Turn 1 Path as well. Not the most ridiculous start from us, but now we got this research backing up our hand. We're gonna be in a pretty good spot going into the following turn. But there's the Fan of Waves to slow us down. So this thing is kind of all evened up here. Here comes a Goon as well, going after my Remoraid. Like I said, probably Jolteon. Could be something else, I guess. I couldn't tell you what I think it would be though. If this is not Jolteon, everything points to Jolteon. I guess Ice Rider, but the Goon once again says Jolteon. We'll see. Quick Ball. Just Scrapper, and here comes, yep, there's the Jolteon. Okay, so we want to use Urshifu's just like in the first game we had. Want to use Urshifu's in this game as well. Just need to get there. Magical shot on the first turn. Doesn't set us up too much for a great prize trade following up, to be honest. Urshifu top deck is not great. I'm just gonna Rapid Strike Search out. Let me just make sure we have another VMAX in here. not. We prized our other VMAX. That's not good. I think we need to just grab this, throw it down, capture here, grab the other Urshifu, and then pass. I think I want to hold this VMAX here. I want to be able to I want to be able to use Gale Thrust. And the reason I want to just put it out like this, because they could go Boss Fan on my, if I just had one Urshifu, they could go Fan it and Boss it, and then I can't 100 Furious Blows, and I can't Gale Thrust into the active, so play a little bit slower. Great draw off that Marnie there. Quick ball for Crobat, and Tower of Waters to bump that path to the peak. And yeah, Tower of Waters lets us move the Sylveon into the Urshifu, so we just need to find the VMAX and the energy, and with Artillery in play, we just need to draw into one of them, and then the other one can be found off of Artillery, and that doesn't even involve us using Crobat for all those cards, and this to find one of the pieces doesn't even involve us using Research. Oh, they actually just don't have anything there. Okay. Where's the Great Ball? There's the Crobat. Kind of want to play cards, but I also kind of don't care. Maybe I do just want to play cards. See what we can find. Not a whole ton, to be honest. Go ahead and research an evolution instance so we can get out. I don't really want a VMAX here, though. I think I just want to use 100 Furious Blows. KO this Inteleon. Yeah. Probably shouldn't have used that, actually. I was like kind of unsure of what I was... what I wanted to do here, basically. I was kind of unsure of what I wanted to do. Solve this one. 100 Furious Blows. Just like in the first game, we want to keep it kind of as an Urshifu. Now we can just 100 Furious Blows again. And we have the Air Balloon. We put the Air Balloon here because once we put this into our active, our opponent probably does play 4 Paths to the Peak. So they're probably going to replace our Tower of Waters. Could get another one, but might not be able to. And so instead we have this Air Balloon here. And they did already get rid of their Scrapper. They can't really Scrapper it anymore. Then we can just retreat to the fresh Urshifu, make it a VMAX, retreat to it, Rapid Strike Energy, knockout. So now they have to like boss for the turn, which is pretty inefficient. And like for them, from the start they had the amount of cards they had, for them to have to go like boss, Fan of Waves, like all these things is probably unlikely. So it puts us just in a really good spot, to be honest, overall. We're just in a really good spot at this point. Almost 100% set up to close this one out. If I had to guess here, we're basically in a spot to pretty much close this one out at this point. We'll see. After the peak comes down, like I said, okay, here comes the Marnie. Can they find themselves that Fan of Waves? Most of them do play 2 Fan of Waves, so they do have another one to work with here. Our draw, not great. Not gonna lie, this hand is not great. The double Sylveon. Maybe I should have benched a second. So did I like bench the other Sylveon immediately? I probably shouldn't have done that. Definitely regretting my bench being this clogged at this point, to be honest. It definitely doesn't feel great to have this much stuff on our bench, but it looks like 100 Furious Blows is going to stick here. We do lose our Artillery, and I did discard my other Remoraid, to be honest. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Might have been a mistake on my end to have done that. Definitely missing it here. We already get 3 prize cards to work with off this Jolteon KO. Poly Artillery, what do we have left? Not much. We don't need much to close out this game either, so... Close, just not there yet. We top deck that Stadium, we want to be able to draw with Rayquaza. Potentially someone to throw that down. And yeah, 100 Furious Blows, get this knockout. Opponent should easily be able to knock out my Urshifu this turn, I feel like. I don't think I'm going to be able to stop that. Let's see if we get off these prize cards. And the Leafeon's not great. Capture Energy's not great. Neither is Sylveon. Our hand is just kind of locked up. And yeah, this might not end up that well for us, actually. The Marnie path doing what it does best here, maybe. We'll see what our top deck is. We do have some good top decks. I think I would promote the Sylveon V here. That's going to be my play, is promote Sylveon V here after they KO this Urshifu. We do just need 1 prize card to close this game out. I should have attached the capture under here, shouldn't I? Did I just forget to attach? I don't think I attached return, did I? No, I got that off the prize cards, didn't I? Wait, where did I get that? Was it off the prize cards? No, they got Leafeon, Sylveon. No. It was off the prize card. I had Leafeon, Sylveon, capture energy, didn't I? Yeah. Of course, I could be misremembering. I don't think I am, though. Here comes second Goon off the level ball. No, Drizzile, actually. But it looks like, yeah, they still have both their scoop of net stuff, so they can reset the Goon, start to build up some more damage somewhere. The question is just kind of where. And we don't have to win next turn, but we do have to start working on trying to win sooner than later. The later this goes, the worse it is going to be for us. We can't wait around here for forever, so we do have to top deck something eventually. And actually, even top decking Stadium wouldn't be that great here. Our hand is kind of clogged. They're going after my Crobat. They're making that their target here. They actually Marnie us here. Oh, no. I mean, it is 6 cards, but I mean, I guess they don't know what my hand was like before. And they gave us the Tower of Waters. They gave us a pretty good hand to work with here. We should be able to close it out here in this one, in this situation now, I think. I'm feeling pretty confident now. Let's see if we can find the cards. Yeah, I say oh no for my opponent, but it's pretty good for us, to be honest. Oh my gosh, we're already almost there. And I think in this situation, about the tower, I'm going to Korean Focus first and Great Ball afterwards to try and dig as deep as possible. And there's the Evolution Incense. Here comes the VMAX. That was going to be really scary. Until my opponent played the Marnie, and then it all kind of came together for us here on this last turn, and we get the Gale Thrust. Was it correct for him to play Marnie? I don't know. My last turn, I'm not sure quite how I played out the cards, and if I gave away that my hand was kind of bricky or dead or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure if I gave that away or not, but yeah, that's the dub in the end. Another dub against the Jolteon. That's going to do it for these games with the Sylveon deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The VSTAR is definitely a great addition to Sylveon. And it definitely gives it some more life. We haven't seen Sylveon really performing very well in a while, but having the Leafeon in there, Leafeon VSTAR, definitely gives it some more life. A free gust effect at any point in the game is just good. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give a like, enjoy the content, be sure to subscribe. See you tomorrow.